It's important to understand the remnant of Israel because all the foundational principles of the remnant are in the Hebrew Scriptures. Selection of the remnant is not based on faith in Christ, but on a worthy manner of living, and that applies to Jews in the Old Testament as well as Jews today, and also to Gentile believers in Christ. We must face our unworthy weaknesses. We all have them in order to change away from this worldly manner to a godly manner of living. And I'm going to give you 4 examples of how to be worthy. The first is that God encourages us to change. And Paul says, I urge you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living and holy sacrifice. In ancient Israel, it was the dead animal that came, but there was a holier aroma that went up from the roasted animal. We're to be that sweet aroma because of the way we're living in the ways of God. We're holy because we're without sin, and the sacrifice is to give up the ways of the world. Paul continues, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed or changed by the renewing of your mind. The next thing I want to point out to you is we are in the process of transforming into a spiritual form. This passage in Job is very interesting. He says he had a dream, and in the dream, a spirit passed by my face. A form was before my eyes. So this spirit had a physical form. And we see that in Yeshua after his resurrection. He was still in a physical form. He was a spiritual being in a physical form. So we should be in the process of transforming into a new spiritual form. As Paul tells us in his letter to the Corinthians, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creature. The new creature is this spiritual form. The old things passed away, behold, new things have come. And the other example is the transfiguration of Yeshua, because Peter, James, and John could see him, and Yeshua was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his garments became as white as light. White represents holy. He's righteous, holy without sin, and yet he was in a physical form. The third way to become worthy is to be humble. I think humility may be the greatest virtue. To be humble, you have to completely put yourself under the power and authority of Yeshua. The fourth one is the concept of love. In our Western way, love is a feeling. It's affection and tenderness felt by lovers. The Hebrew concept is that love is an action word. One must demonstrate love with actions. And we see, for example, Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of his love for her. So we must express our love with action toward other people and toward God. So in conclusion, what have we decided? How can you be worthy to participate in the remnant? God encourages us to change away from our worldly patterns to the ways of God. Second, we are transforming into a spiritual form. Third, the humble submit completely by trusting in their Lord Yeshua. Number 4, love is an action word, so we must demonstrate our love for God and for others. And with that, I wish you shalom.